Hello YouTube, it is Russ Strock here on Thursday the 20th of August, and I've been spending some time trying to figure out a better way to provide winter food for my bees, and I'm going to try this winter an experiment. I've almost always used granulated sugar on top of a piece of newspaper placed on top of the uppermost box, the mountain camp method. But this year I'm going to try feeding my bees the honey that they produced. I think that's probably the best for the bees, and I also think it's probably the most economical thing that I can do to get the bees through winter. So I took my shims. I made shims a few years ago. I'm going to show you the shims. This is one of the shims right here. It's just a 2-inch high piece of board all the way around that I put on top of the hive, the uppermost hive, and it comes with a little notch in it here originally for the bees to come through. But I've modified it by putting a notch right in the middle as well as one over here. And I'm going to show you how I plan to feed the bees their own honey off their own frames this winter. So I have two methods. One is I'm going to use these medium honey supers, these frames from medium honey supers, and I'm going to lay them right in there like that. They're laying real flush, they're laying flat, and the bees will be able to take the honey off that side, off the bottom side. After they're done, I'm going to just flip it around and let the bees take the honey off what was the top side. I do have these little communication holes in some of them, so the bees may be able to come up and get some of the honey. But the way the heat works in the winter, they take the heat comes up from the bottom and will help kind of melt the capped honey on the underside. So I think I'm going to have to flip them over partway through in the winter. So on top of here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the inner cover on. I'll put the inner cover on here. I'll put a 2-inch piece of insulation foam on top of here, and then the telescopic cover on top of that. And that's what I'm planning to do this winter. It's an experiment. Last year I got all 10 of my hives through winter using the mountain camp method. But I think that it just gets them through winter. I don't think they really thrive when they're eating just pure raw granulated sugar. So this is what I'm going to do, where I have capped honey in medium supers. But I also have some frames, some deep body frames that are full of honey too. And I made a separate notch over here for these frames, the deep frames. And that's going to sit right in there like that. Same strategy as before. I'm going to put this inner cover on and then insulation on top of the inner cover and the telescopic cover on there. So we'll see. And if after the bees eat through the honey on the underside, I'll flip it over, and then they'll be able to get to it there. If I need to, I can put sugar. I can put sugar along the sides here on top of newspaper for these larger frames. But I think I'm optimistic that this is going to work. This is what they're sort of programmed to eat all winter, is their own honey. And why not feed it back to them? So over here, I've harvested several frames of capped honey, you can see. And I'm going to just lay them in here like this, right on top of the frames. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. After they eat through it, I'm just going to turn it over and let them eat their honey. So I thought about the moisture, and look, I don't think moisture is going to be a big issue by adding capped frames of honey, because the hives are already pretty full of capped frames of honey. I'm not adding anything that really isn't already in the hive. I also like to use those that board that I showed you for the inner cover. I also have these a few of these moisture boards. You can see the one right in the middle there. It's a little bit fuzzy. And then I use these too. These are kind of I really don't know what they're called, but I bought them at Lowe's and cut them. They're kind of a more fibrous inner cover. They're thicker, they're heavy. They provide some insulation, and I also think some moisture absorption. So we'll see how this works. I wanted to show you I modified all of my shims. You can see the notches in the top and the bottom. All of these have been modified now to accommodate the honey frames. And we're going to see how this works this winter. I don't think I'm going to actually use honey frames on all of the bees because I don't have enough honey. And I also don't want to transition completely away from sugar until I'm sure that this method is going to work. So if you like this video and it gives you an idea what to try for your own winter feeding, hit the like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. So I will also do an update probably next spring and let you know how this all worked out, maybe even during the winter, if I can get some good footage of the bees using the honey. So good luck beekeeping. I hope your bees are thriving. Again, subscribe, hit the like button, let me know what you think. Thanks.